All right, YouTube, so welcome back to my channel. I have less than a week to get my boat out on the water, and I say that because it's hot this week. Next week, though, the temperatures are supposed to drop, and we're already at the end of the season anyway, so pretty much this weekend is all I've got, and I got a lot of work to do on this boat. I've already set it up. I'm about to go out here and blow the oil out of the engine. I did that once before, but I didn't do anything to prevent the oil from filling the crankcase right back up. So now I've got to do it all over again. And I got a lot of other stuff to do. With a full-time job, I don't know if I'm going to make it on the water, but I just want to get it out on the water before I have to sit through another winter and wait till the next spring or summer. So that being said, let me grab some of my tools and let's head out there. I don't know what's all going to be on this video. Like I said, I've got to move fast, limit the time, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm even going to get it out there, but at least I'm going to give it a try. So let's grab my tools, let's get out here, and let's see if I can make it out on the water this weekend. Okay, so now we're in the boat, and let me show you what I've done. I learned my lesson the first time around in blowing the oil out. I didn't cover anything, and it blew oil everywhere, all over this boat, on the seats, all over the hull, inside of the engine bay. So this time I'm a little better prepared, got everything blocked off, and I'm just trying to keep oil from getting over everything, all over everything else. So at least hits this plastic bags, it'll just drain down in. I've got towels all down there, as you can see in the bottom, to soak up as much of the oil as we can, and so that we just don't cover the engine bay with this stuff. So anyway, that's the plan, and I hope you can hear me. Again, I hope this mic is working because I'm only about 15 feet away from two air conditioning units going. As I said, it's probably 90 something degrees today. All right, let me get down in here, or let me get the key to this thing. I've got the spark plugs out of it, so, well, let's just go ahead and see what happens here. I think I know I've got the battery connected, everything done. I'm afraid I've got going to forget something. There's a compression kit test that hopefully we'll get to today. Oh, let's okay, I got the two beeps. It's very faint. Look at that. Wonder why my oil light would be on. Like I said, I don't think there's any oil left in the tank. So let's just see if we get anything. I think the battery is good. Let's see what we get. Well, I would say it blew my towel off. What do you think? What do we got? Yep. Nice, nice, nice. So still didn't do it as good as job as I needed or wanted to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow it out again, do the same thing, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little while just to drain in the engine, and then I'm going to do this again to make sure I get as much oil out of that engine as possible, so I can get a real compression check on it. Trying to move slowly here. Now I've got oil all over my hands, so let's try it again here. Wow, so see, I didn't do as good a job as I needed to. I guess the oil usually only goes to one cylinder or the other. So I may have, thinking it was coming out of here, I thought it was coming out of this one. Maybe it was coming out of both, I don't know. But, all right, I'm gonna stop here and let the oil drain. There's really not any left in the tank, so there's no need right now to seal that water oil line off. So let's let it sit for a little bit, and then we'll come back and do it again, and then we'll move on to shutting off that oil line. All right, so I finally got all the oil blown out of this engine, and it took numerous times to do it, and it shouldn't have. And I think that's because even though the oil tank was empty, I think the fuel lines had oil, and I don't know how long it goes down and comes back up through there, so maybe 2 feet, 3 feet of oil line. I think that is what kept feeding into it. Even though there was no oil in the tank, there was oil in the lines, and it just kept feeding into the engine. So that's the only thing I can figure out. And speaking of that, I believe I've made a mistake, because off camera I went ahead, if you can see, I went ahead and put a shutoff valve on this oil line. I don't know if I can pull it up and get the camera down any clearer, but I put this shutoff valve on it, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get down in here. As you can see, there's some oil on my hands, so I think the leak is actually coming from the tank and coming down, but it could be coming from there. I went ahead and put oil in the tank just to see if I've did a good job of closing it off. But the actual cutoff valve is brass, really heavy, and was really tugging on this oil line, and I know I had a leak up here at the spout coming out of the tank. So I've doctored it. I put these zip ties down here on it to hold it up so that there's no weight being pulled directly from the tank. It's up here that's holding it. So anyway, all of that I think is just a big mistake. First of all, as I just mentioned, the shutoff valve is at the top, just under the oil tank, which makes it convenient, but even shutting it off, I still have a couple of feet of oil line. So that's just going to continue feeding into the engine. So I think the shutoff should have been down here underneath the engine and not up here. And the other thing is, having it up here, I'm actually shutting off the oil to both engines and not this one. So that was a mistake. And here's the other further mistake, that I shouldn't have put that in, because after I did that, I discovered this tool. This is the largest of a set of 3. It is a fuel, oil, and water line pinch off. How about that? After I did that, this is really all I needed. If I can get this on the water, we shut it off. I just simply pinch the line off. It locks, as you can see. And I just simply, if I can do it one-handed, I may not be able to, unlock it. Simple as that, and I can pinch it off wherever it needs to be pinched off. And that was really my solution, not the shut-off valve there. So anyway, I'm going to fix all this over the winter, but I'm just trying to get this out on the water. So I'm done with that. Let's just move on. I still got to drain the fuel tank. I got to pull the pickup out of the tank and check for the 2 filters that are at the bottom of it. I got to pull the carbs and rebuild the carbs. I've got to replace the inline fuel filters, and I'm thinking, man, I get all that done and we may be ready to get out there on the water. So anyway, I'm thinking about, I've still never done a compression test on this engine. The one and only time I tried it, it blew up my compression gauge because it still had oil in the engine, and it just blew it all through the my compression lines and into the gauge. So all right, talked enough here. Let me get busy on this boat, and my goal is this coming weekend to get it out on the water. So all right, let me get busy. All right, real quick, I just want to hear both engines running, and so as I said, I got all the oil blown out. I went ahead and put the spark plugs back in, got everything hooked up. Hope the battery is good, and I just want to hear both engines run. So before I do any more work, I just would feel better if I know that these engines are going to run, and then I'll do the carb rebuilds and swap the old fuel. Anyway, I just noticed something. I mean, I'm sitting here in my driveway and I'm doing 20 miles an hour, and I've got just under 1 RPM on that engine, and I'm already pulling 2 RPMs and haven't cranked it yet. So the fuel gauge may be right. I have no idea at this point. Got to check that out. I'll know when I pull that fuel pickup out and such. But anyway, all right. Hope the battery's good. Let's fire it up. Hopefully, I know I've had one engine going. Let's see if I get the second engine that I just blew all the oil out of this thing. Hold on a second. Let me turn the fuel on. I know I didn't, so hold on. Let me turn the fuel on. Okay. Fuel is on. I get two, I don't know if you can hear it, I don't have the mic hooked up, but I do get 2 faint beeps. They're not that loud. So choke on. Weak. Guys, that's the engine I have not run yet, and if you can pick up the smoke all around me. Oh man, it feels great. I've already heard. I'm going to crank this one up. Gosh, I hope this one now will fire up. I've already had the one right behind me running, but it's not going to crank in out neutral here. I do see an issue too. Not only did I see these fuel gauges, but my throttle, well, it's not. Look at the difference. This one, wherever I drop it and leave it, it stays. This one, so I'm gonna maybe have to pull that out. Something's going on. So it sounded right. I mean, it sounded, obviously the cable's connected and everything's good, but it's just not acting right. So, all right, let's hope this engine that I've had running decides to run. Guys, I have got 2 running engines in this thing, and I'm excited. So now that's really going to get me going. So man, that sounds great. So now I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to get stuck out in the water. I'm going to go ahead and pull the carbs, rebuild them. I'm going to swap out the inline fuel filters and pull the pickup. Like I said, I've already mentioned this, and get those fuel filters out of the bottom of that, and man, we are going to hit the water. So man, let's move on. I'm just going to get busy. I don't know how much I'll film, but I got now just a few days to get this thing ready for this weekend. All right, I'm going to stop here and get my tools and get started. All right, guys, so a little detour here. After I fire these engines up, my intention was to jump back there, start pulling those carbs, get them ready for a rebuild. But this throttle lever was really bothering me, the fact that it would not stay in place. You see it is now. That's why I'm bringing you on board to show you what I did to fix it. But That was bothering me because I didn't know if I had a cable loose, something was, not working right. And, what good is a running engine if your throttle cable or mechanism is not working? So anyway, that was bothering me, and I thought I needed to take care of this instead. So I've actually already done it, but I want to show you what I did because, my reading comprehension is not the best. I do have a shop manual for this thing, and with the way I was reading it, it's got just 4 small Phillips here, and then underneath this plate, cover plate, is we have 4 star bolts that go in that holds the whole mechanism into place. Anyway, I did pull out the shop manual, look at it, and like I said, my comprehension obviously is not that great because even with the pictures and the explanation, there are adjusters here just on this plate right here, and I don't know if you're picking that up well or not, but this is what I thought I was looking at from the picture in the shop manual. So I was trying to adjust these 2 screws and nothing was happening, which was really making me think I have got a real issue with this throttle lever. But in playing with these adjusters, then moving these, what it did is I couldn't even adjust now my forward or reverse lever. So I had to back that one out. And then the other went all the way over to the far lever over here and made that really hard. So I had to back that out. So I was really confused, and I guess, okay, then it must be on this side. And sure enough, there is a screw on the outside that had worked its way out. It's really just 1 screw right in the middle. I tighten that thing down and you can see the result. Now my throttle lever is in place and working. I'll probably back that screw back out now that I know what it is, which one it is, put some Loctite on it because I'm sure it'll work its way out again. Anyway, I wasn't going to stop there and really show this, but I was just genuinely confused. I guess I can't even comprehend and look at pictures right, because you'll probably look, if you have the shop manual, look at it and say, I don't know how it could be more explanatory than that. But anyway, all right, I'm excited now. We got this fixed. This is now ready to go, confident in it. Everything was greased really well. The cables were all tight and fastened, so we're all good here. So now, let's stop here. I'm going to put this back on, and then I'm going to jump to this engine and get these carbs out, and let's start the rebuild. Okay, so I'm finally to a point that I've been waiting on since I got this boat. This engine that has been full of oil, I've never been able to run a compression check on it. This is the first compression check. You're watching it with me. Hopefully it'll stay up there on the back of the seat. So let me plug it in here and let's see what kind of compression we get. Okay, check that out, guys. What is that, just over 150? Perfect. All right, let me get it on the PTO side and let's see what we got in there. All right, so now we're hooked up to the PTO side, and it has been a long day out here today, so this would be a great close to this day if this cylinder also has 150 in this cylinder. So let me put the key in and let's see what we got. Exactly the same. We got just over 150, maybe 155. I can't tell from here, but whew, man, this is awesome, really awesome. I've got 2 good engines, and all right, let's get started on the rest of this stuff. Well, that'll be tomorrow. We'll get started on that and try to finish this thing up. Let's get these carbs out of here. so let's get started on these carbs. So we were just right about 30 psi. And you know what? I was looking at this gauge wrong. So I believe we were right at 30. I was counting it as 25, wasn't I? But we were at about 30 psi on the other carb as well. So it's my mistake not reading it right. So we are in spec 38 according to the shop manual, 38 plus or minus 12. So we're good to get these back in the ski now. So alright, let's get it back in the ski. First, when I pulled the fuel pickup out of here, you'll see right here, I didn't realize I was missing something, except I was looking for a fuel filter, and I don't know if you will be able to pick it up. I will try. So I'm going to have to fish got my little grabber here. Let's see what I can see if this will work. Alright, so I got one out. Let's see if I can get the other out. And that's probably why these came out in first place, is because I kind of had to pull it out sort of at an angle, and it probably just pulled them right off. So let's see if we can get this out, slid back down into the tank. Well, so far a lot easier. That's nice. No problems sliding back in there, so. Alright guys, boat is now ready to go out on the water. At least I hope so. But it's Friday evening. I didn't get it finished when I wanted to. I was really wanting to get it done by last night because we're taking the whole family, so it's going to be a family outing, and so we're going to take some Seadoos, but I haven't had a chance to check them, batteries, just hadn't started them. So anyway, so we're not going to go tomorrow. Tomorrow's just going to be to get everything ready to go to the lake, and we're going to cut out right after church services on Sunday. We'll just have everything ready, come home, and take off. Spend the rest of the day at the lake. So excited about that, but got good news and bad news. Good news is I had not checked all the compartments of the boat since I bought that thing about a year ago, and found 2 gallons of this stuff unopened, brand new, still sealed up in the boat. So I just bought a gallon of this stuff for this weekend off Amazon. I think it was like $69. So found about $140 in the boat. So we're gonna take 1 gallon, leave 1 here. So that's always nice to find. But the bad thing is, I'm just putting a Band-Aid on the boat of putting the shutoff valve on the oil line. And my plans are to rebuild the engine during the winter. And I was going to use my hoist. And I was going to just back the boat in here because I wouldn't have to take the carbs off, the exhaust, anything. I just basically unbolt the engine and use the hoist and just pull it right on out. But anyway, it was so hot earlier this week, I thought I'd back the boat in and just work inside the garage to get out of the heat, and I couldn't get the boat in. I live on this hill, and there just wasn't enough room for the truck to swing it out wide enough to get the boat in. I tried. I'll try it from a different angle and see if I can. I hope it'll work, but I was a little disappointed at that because I was planning on using my hoist to make everything so much easier than having to remove the engine outside and carry it into to my bench here. But anyway, I'll deal with it. That's what I have to do. I'll do it. But all right. Well, I guess the next I'll pick up on this video when we get out on the water. Hopefully the boat runs great. I hope you see a video of the thing moving in the water instead of just floating. I probably won't post anything if the boat is a flop out there. But anyway, so we'll pick up out at the lake and see how it goes. All right, guys, we're packing it up, heading home. Behind me is the lake we just came off of. It's a beautiful day, great weather. We had a great time. But I want to show you something real quick. In the back of the SUV here, do you recognize what this is? That is, let's the truck go by. That is my trailer tire. So we had a blowout on the interstate. I always carry a spare tire, so we were good. However, let me show you as we pulled it, and the boat ran great, no issues at all. When I had the wind with me, we were doing 55 miles an hour against the wind and some heavy waves and stuff. We did 45 this boat. Check it out, flat tire. So both of these tires were bad on there, and so this is not going home with us. I used my spare tire. Fortunately, I have a friend that's just right over here. It's got a cabin right over here. We're just going to leave it in his yard. But as I mentioned, great day on the boat. On the water with this boat. It ran flawless. I'm still going to do that rebuild on the engine. I put a shutoff valve on this boat, and that was a lot of pain to stop. When we stopped and ate, several times we stopped and having to crawl back in the back and shut it off, and then constantly. Anyway, let me show you what that tire. This is where the tire that had the blowout tore up my fender here. As you can see, came all the way through. Now this is plastic, but hopefully you can pick that up. It came all the way through, and you can see some remnants of it. But anyway, the shrapnel from that, the strands from the tire, took out all the trailer lighting underneath there and along the rail there. So gonna have some work to do on the trailer, but I'll take it. We had a great day, and like I said, the boat exceeded my expectations, and really excited about having this boat out here on the water. One last shot of the sun that has pretty much gone down on this lake, and we are about to pack it up and head home. So guys, appreciate you joining me. Catch you on the next video.